Hey guys, it's me Charmise and I'm back with another video. This is my series, Public Speaking with Professor Mo. I am riding around with my son who is taking a nap. So this is a mobile lesson. This is module 4. It's not just what you say. Today we are going to talk about all the things that people can read in the midst of your speaking. So take a minute and look, and we're going to discuss voice, body language, posture, touch, facial expressions, eye contact, and physical appearance. So a lot of times people feel like when you get up in front of an audience, all you have to do is speak. Yes, you can speak, but there are other things that you are doing that the audience can see or feel or read, and that might speak louder than the words that are coming out of your mouth. So the first thing we're going to talk about is voice. Have you ever had someone speaking and been like, wow, they don't want to be here. They're unhappy. They sound sad. The tone of voice that you use while speaking can indicate displeasure. It can indicate nervousness. It can indicate that you don't care for the topic that you're speaking about and you just standing in front of the audience for a grade, standing in front of the audience because your boss made you. It could come across as like, oh, this is an obligatory speech. This person doesn't care about the topic or any person in the room. Your voice and the tone that you use, it matters. So it's super important to keep that in mind. I will say it in every speech if I have to. I will say it in every lecture if I have to. The topic that you pick matters. And I have had students pick a topic and I'm like, if you had talked about the things I see you talking about in the hallway, this speech would have ate down. But here you are talking about Mardi Gras and you don't care nothing about New Orleans, okay? Your voice matters. You should sound, you don't have to sound ridiculously excited, but there are certain tones or levels in your voice that can indicate you don't even care about the speech, you're just trying to get it done. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The next thing that I want to talk about is body language. A lot of times how you're standing, how you are leaned in or far away from the audience can indicate a lot of things too. It can mostly indicate whether you're confident or not, and the audience can often pick up on that. So that's something that you definitely want to keep in mind. How you present, how you stand, how you use your body when you're speaking says a lot. So keep that in mind. And in continuing to talk about body language, I wrote posture, which they're kind of like one and the same. But have you ever seen it? I hate this example, but I'm okay with it. Like I have met men, not many women. I have met men. No, I have met some girls. I have met people that are much taller than they appear solely because they have bad posture. And if you get in front of the audience and you're huddled over, that indicates you're nervous, and you're lacking confidence. And people are going to pick up on that. And if they pick up on that, they're tuned out of everything else you have to say because of how you standing up there. If you're going to use your body while speaking, you want to stand upright. You want to stand erect. You want to exude confidence. You want to appear to be the expert on the topic that you're presenting. So your body language matters. How you use your hands matter. How you stand matters. How you engage when you're walking towards the audience or if you're moving remotely towards the audience. I've had students who have done speeches and they've stood at my podium and their body is still turned away. I've had students who have done a speech holding onto the podium, body fully turned towards their visual aid, which is a lack of eye contact for the audience And then that eye contact, I'm sorry, there was a car driving the wrong way. Lack of eye contact and engagement to the audience, and it just echoes a lack of preparation, among other things. So it's definitely important to watch how you're using your body, because every which way you turn, how you stand says something. And the words that you're giving can be super informative, super persuasive. But if I were in the audience, I might be able to decode certain things based on how you're standing, how you're not standing, and how you sound. So pay attention to your voice, your body language, and your posture. The next thing that I want to talk about is touch. And when I talk about touch, I think it's super interesting when I have students who are touching themselves as they speak. So you see how I'm touching my locks. I've had students stroke their hair the entire duration of their speech. I've had students constantly fixing their hair throughout their speech. If say that my belt, but I stopped. I'm at a stop sign now. Say my belt, my seat belt was like the drawstring to my hoodie. I've had people touch their drawstring the entire time. Certain levels of touch, especially if they're constant throughout the duration of your speech, are a distraction to the people that you are speaking to. If you like occasionally touch your nose, that's not bad. If you like put your hand behind your hair, that's fine. If you might maybe touch your arm, that's fine. But some of those repetitive movements say other things. I've had students who swing their legs when they're speaking, or doing a lot of hand movements. All those things, all those simple touches can, one, be a distraction to the audience, and two, read as a lack of confidence. And I don't know if you're familiar, or if you've had a situation where somebody just didn't seem confident to you. You're not likely to pay attention to the information that they're providing. You're not going to buy into anything that they're saying. So keep that in mind. Another thing that I want to talk about is facial expressions. Much like voice and tone, sometimes your sometimes your facial expressions show a level of displeasure. It shows that you're irritated or annoyed. Those things matter. So depending on your subject matter, and even you can be giving a flawless speech that you put together and wrote so well, but your face might have a blank stare, or you might look a little bit confused, like you never read this excellent speech that you just wrote. There are a lot of things that your face can give away that the audience can see, and it could kind of take away from your overall credibility. So it's important to, one, probably rehearse the information that you're providing, but and also to have a topic that you value, that you care about, that you're invested in. So your face don't say, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to be up here. People can see it. So that is my tidbit on facial expressions. Just be mindful. Eye contact is the next one. Eye contact is interesting because I've talked to multiple people, and granted, I've taught up until like 60 years of age as far as my students, but my bread and butter has in the past been dual enrollment. So those are 11th and 12th graders. So if I were asking 16 to 18 year olds, how is your level of eye contact? A lot of them that's not their jam. And I asked, about how long can you make eye contact with someone before it becomes uncomfortable? And they said like 3 seconds. You don't have to stare into anybody's soul, but you should be making some type of eye contact. You should be having some levels of engagement with the audience to, one, make sure that they're alert and paying attention to what you're talking about, but just kind of making some type of connection. I always have I've struggled with eye contact in the past, and I'm a bridge of the nose kind of gal. If you get nothing else from me, that's what you might get. But when you don't look up while you're speaking, maybe because you're reading, maybe because you're nervous, whatever the case may be, at that point, it's just audio, and people can't really buy into what you're talking about. They can't really connect with you. It shows a lack of authenticity at times. It's just you getting up there and going through the motions, but people really can't connect with that. So it's super important to find ways to connect with your audience through eye contact. Like I said before, bridge of the nose has been my jam for years. But if you're in a building or a room or something like that, I try to find something that's eye level that I can look at and not even stare. A lot of times what I try to do is scan the room. If you scan the room, you're good. But looking down does nothing for you, and it definitely does nothing for the people that are supposed to be listening to the information that you are sharing. Eye contact matters. I've seen a lot of students overcome it after a while. And by overcome, I mean make some progress to make more eye contact than they had in the past. But eye contact matters. It's not just what you say. You have to make those connections. You might have a timely joke or a statistic or some type of information, and looking around the room to gauge if the people, how they receive the information. Eye contact essentially equals feedback. You can look at people and see if they rocking with you, if they're interested in the topic that you're talking about, if they care about the information that you're sharing. And that feedback can be fuel enough to continue to speak or to reel them in a little bit more with other information that you might share. The last thing that I want to talk about is physical appearance. In the previous lecture, I talked about initial credibility. And one thing that I have noticed is that not everybody invests in their physical appearance when they're getting in front of an audience, mostly because it's their peers. However, I think it's important to assess your physical appearance when you're getting in front of people. Your physical appearance says something about your credibility and your effort. Putting on a button down or a collared shirt, a nice polo, give me a blazer moment, a little vest, give me something, a nice dress, a cardigan, something that says, I thought a little bit about what I put on because I'm in front of y'all. Take me seriously. I think it's important that little bit of effort should translate to the audience. It will translate to the audience. I've had a lot of students surprise me with their physical appearance, and I'm like, oh, you did that. You laid that outfit the night before, and I'm leaning in. I'm even more invested in what they're about to provide and share because they took the time to put together an outfit. They took the time to say, I care about my physical appearance. Yeah, y'all see me every day in a hoodie and jeans, but today, baby, I'm the expert. So I think your physical appearance matters. All these tiny little bit, the tiny things that I shared all translate and can oftentimes be a lot louder than the words that you're sharing. Does that make sense? So even if you executed a beautiful 7 to 10 minute speech, if your tone was trash, you looked disheveled, and you didn't look up, baby, did you really give anything? Consider that. So, today we talked about voice. Your tone of voice can translate to the audience. Your body language, how you're standing, how you use your body as you speak can translate to the audience. I don't want to be here. I'm unhappy. Or it can say, wow, you standing up nice and tall. They must be extra confident today. Those things matter. Touch. Certain levels of touch can be a distraction. How you touch yourself, how you touch the podium, how you might touch your hair, or even your props. Those things that you are doing with your hands and or your body can distract the audience from the words that you are communicating. Facial expressions matter. Facial expressions can translate, like the words that are coming out of your mouth, you should look happy or pleased as you are speaking them. Not disgusted, not annoyed, not scared. All those things can translate to the audience. Eye contact or lack thereof matters. If you are not connecting or engaging with the audience, they can't necessarily connect the dots, and it doesn't really help your authenticity or credibility. And physical appearance. If you take the time to put a little fit together, what does the students say? PTSO, but I'm not even going to say what it is. PTSO. If you do that, then the audience might take what you did into account and say, I'm going to buy into what this person said because they went the extra mile. So consider the things that we talked about. It's not just what you say. 60 to 70% of your speech is all the things that I just listed. Everything else is just manuscript, honey. So consider that as you are putting your speech together. Pick a topic that most interests you so that your voice, your body language, your posture, your facial expressions, your eye contact, that they will be pleasing and happy and pleasant because you are speaking about a topic that you value. And go the extra mile as you prepare to be in front of an audience and put a little fit together, PTSO. And I think that's it. I think I touched on everything that I really wanted to share. Again, it's not just what you say. There's all these little intricate things that people pick up on or pay attention to that can be much louder than anything that you plan to share. As a public speaker, I think it's important to encompass it all. So that is that. If I were going to ask a discussion question, I would say, what is one thing that you struggle with or would need to overcome to be a public speaker? Is it your voice? Is it your body language or posture? Do you touch your hair too much, or do you have those distractive movements that the audience can pick up on? Do you have RBF? Can the audience pick up on your facial expressions and assume that you are just not happy to be here? Do you struggle with eye contact? Or do you lack an effort in your physical appearance? What do you need to overcome to be a public speaker? And how can I encourage you? So answer that question, reflect on what we just discussed, and I'll see you guys next time.